Well, folks, it seems our neighbors to the south are at it again. The Donald has threatened to slap a hefty 25% tariff on Canadian goods. That's right, 25%. Our beer, our maple syrup, even our beloved hockey pucks all facing the wrath of tariffs. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Rick, this is outrageous. What's the Donald's beef this time? Well, he says it's about border security and that pesky fentanyl trade. But between you and me, I think he's just trying to throw his weight around. Now, before you panic and start stockpiling poutine, there's been a temporary reprieve. That's right, a 30-day pause on these tariffs while our two countries try to hammer out a deal. But don't let that lull you into a false sense of security. This tariff threat is still hanging over our heads like a bad case of Bieber fever. So how are Canadians reacting to all of this? Well, we're a resilient bunch, known for our politeness and our love of hockey, but don't let that fool you. We're also a proud nation. We don't take kindly to threats, especially from a guy with hair like that. So, what has Canada done to appease the Donald? Well, our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, has agreed to beef up border security. We're talking more guards, more surveillance, the whole 9 yards. We're even appointing a fentanyl czar, because apparently that's a thing now. And to top it all off, we're throwing some money at the problem, $200 million to be exact, to help gather intelligence on those pesky drug cartels. Now, on the surface, it seems like we're bending over backwards to keep the Donald happy. But some folks, and I'm talking about experts here, are skeptical. They say that Canada is already doing a lot to combat the fentanyl trade. The amount of fentanyl seized at our border is a drop in the bucket compared to what comes in through the US-Mexico border. So, is the Donald just using this as an excuse to flex his tariff muscles? I'll let you be the judge of that. But here's the thing. Even with these concessions, the threat of tariffs remains. And that has a lot of Canadians worried, especially those whose livelihoods depend on trade with the US. Let's talk turkey, folks. Or should I say, let's talk tariffs, because if these tariffs do come into effect, it's going to hit us Canadians right where it hurts, our wallets. We're talking job losses, folks. Lots of them. The auto industry in particular is bracing for impact. They're so integrated with the US that a 25% tariff could send shockwaves through the entire sector. And it's not just jobs. Prices on everyday goods could skyrocket. That's right, everything from your morning coffee to your kids' hockey equipment could get a whole lot more expensive. And nobody wants that, especially with the cost of living already higher than a giraffe's kneecap. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Rick, surely our government wouldn't let this happen? Well, they are scrambling to provide some financial aid. Ontario, for example, is offering tax breaks to businesses. But let's be honest, it's a band-aid solution to a bullet wound. So, what can we ordinary Canadians do in the face of this tariff threat? Well, for starters, we can channel our inner hockey fan and show the Donald what a real power play looks like. That's right, I'm talking about a boycott. Already there's a growing movement online to boycott US products. People are sharing lists of Canadian-made alternatives. And you know what? This isn't just about sticking it to the Donald. It's about supporting our own businesses and our own economy. It's about showing the world that Canadians can stand on our own 2 feet. So the next time you're at the grocery store, reach for that Canadian-grown apple instead of the Washington State one. Choose a Canadian-brewed beer over a Budweiser. Every little bit helps. Look, folks, this whole tariff thing is a mess. But if there's one thing I know about Canadians, it's that we don't back down from a challenge. We'll weather this storm like we've weathered every other one, with grit, determination, and a healthy dose of humor. And hey, if all else fails, we can always build a wall and make the Americans pay for it. Just kidding. Or am I? Stay tuned, folks.